Young Drunk! Dylan is the man.
Look at my name being spelled right in the comments. Be like that. Come on. I like it. Stand club name.
Hey, welcome to the Micheaux Mission. 2 Men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Len, aka the Bat Tribble. And as always, I'm joined by my partner.
Hey, this is Vincent Williams.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the Micheaux Mission is joining with the Be Real Black Cinema Club to present our review of 1994's Jason's Lyric, starring Alan Payne and Jada Pinkett before the Smith. And joining us today for our review is the head mistress of said cinema club, Queen Film Noir herself. Ladies and gentlemen, all you missionaries out there, put your hands together for our guest, Stephanye Watts. Hey, Stephanie.
Hey.
Stephanie.
I'm very excited to be here, y'all.
We're very excited to have you here.
Yeah, this is going to be big fun doing Jason's Lyric, a movie that stands the test of time with you, I understand.
Allegedly, yes, it does.
Allegedly.
It's like, I'm just joking. I like saying allegedly. You know, people get litigious
Well, you know.
when you start making claims.
Right.
That's cool. So that's what we're going to be reviewing tonight, ladies and gentlemen. As always, we are streaming from Yunk right here in Manayunk to our YouTube and to Facebook. And shout out to everybody out there in the chat. I see Maurice, Mira, Aaron Fry, Robert Monroe, Deborah Battle, all the people out there in the chat. Hello.
Good evening, one and all.
All right. Before we get into all of the fun, Stephanie, I have to ask. Be Real, REEL, Black Cinema Club. That is your movie posse, from what I understand.
The clique, the crew. So I started BRBCC back in 2017. It had a whole different name, but the mission has stayed the same.
And what was the mission?
Basically to get black millennials out to the movies to see black film. That's the simple part of it. The long story is I had become a member of the Brooklyn Academy of Music back in like 2014, somewhere around there. And I was not someone that like previously knew a lot about independent black film. All I knew was Spike Lee and Sankofa because I went to an Afrocentric school and they would like, show us Sankofa to scare us, every year. And
You don't act right, you get transported back in time and learn about yourself.
They had a shook.
Right.
So I didn't know. It was just like it started because they had some Spike Lee retrospective, me and my friends when, flyers and little postcards still work. So they had a little marketing for something called New Voices in Black Cinema. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna come to that. That sounds cool. So then I came to that. And then the next day we had another flyer. And I was like, oh, Film Africa, I'll come to that. So I just found myself coming a lot. And I said, oh, this is getting a little expensive.
Gotcha.
So I became a member. And so as I'm going to all these black film screenings, I'm looking around and I'm like,
Yeah.
ain't no black people up in this joint. And if they were older, right? They were like, 50 plus, 60, honestly 60 plus, to be honest with you, in terms of who was really coming out, unless it was a filmmaker that maybe lived in Brooklyn and their people came out. And this was also happening during the time of Oscar So White. So all the millennials are on Twitter being like, where are the black movies that do this? And where are the black movies that tell this story? And I'm like, at BAM?
Right.
Because I was just there last week, or I was there last night. And so I was like, well, I can either bash my generation, shout out to the elder millennials, or I can like do something to help what may be going on, which is lack of like knowledge or marketing around the events that are happening. So I have no shame. I'm a real fully girl. I really believe in myself. We are delusional people here in this city. We think everybody's supposed to rock with us just cause. So I cold emailed the head of their film department.
Nice.
And was like, I'll have an idea for a film club. Shout out to Gina Duncan. She's now the head of BAM all across the board now. And she met with me for lunch, and she said, it's a cute idea. Okay. And 2017, took a little break, 2018, 2019, until now, we have monthly meetups in Brooklyn. We now have monthly meetups in Philadelphia as well.
Nice.
During the pandemic, we were online. So, just really trying to get Black millennials out and letting them know that all the films that you want to see do exist.
Right.
And they need your support. So
that's dope.
That's a long story.
Dope.
That's really cool.
The long version of it.
Now, were you a fan of movies at all, or is it just yeah?
Yeah, I grew up on all the traditional Black films that everybody sees. We can all quote. I was child of the '90s film era, so I was into Regal AMC, I'll say type film, but independent film was something that was new to me. So that's also what makes the film club cool, is because I don't be knowing who these filmmakers are when I go to the meetups. I'll be learning right along with everybody else. So that's really cool because I'm learning as I'm growing over the last 6 years with Film Club.
Oh, that's dope.
That's very dope.
How big's the club now?
Depends on the month.
Yeah, that's right.
People come out, people pop out. It depends on what the film is. I think one thing about independent film and audiences is that if people don't know who the filmmaker is, you don't know who's in the film, it's kind of a hard sell. So you got to make it sound poppin'. We had our 5th anniversary screening in June at BAM, and we showed this film called Rain the Color Blue with Little Red in it. And it's this film by this singer from Niger, and it's basically the Niger version of Purple Rain.
Wow.
And so, if I didn't say people wouldn't care. But I was like, it's basically Prince, but make it desert. Yeah. And everybody's like, oh, I'll come. Yeah. And so we, filled out the theater. But, if I wouldn't have said that, people would be like, girl, I don't know what that is. So, it depends. But it varies. There's some people who don't even live in New York or don't live in Philly, but they'll come to, the virtual meetups that we have. Right. The Philly club is, growing. It's growing.
Oh, dope. So, dope. Very dope.
Yeah. And it's just a way to, build community. One thing I noticed over the years is that a lot of people that come by themselves. Mm-hmm. And I be like, y'all ain't got no friends. But I guess maybe their friends are into it or whatever. But they've been able, for people that come every single month, they've been able to make friends because a lot of times the same people, that come every month. So it's also, build real community. You know what I'm saying? And, I be seeing them all hanging out together on Instagram now. And I be like, oh, that's so cool. That some random film that was in a basement for 50 years that just got unearthed and restored.
That's what happened.
Made people, come together as friends. So
that's
it's
what
cool.
Happened. That is exactly what happened.
Well, that's dope.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Well, we're not millennials, but I'll come to the club.
No, come. Come. I'm sure we are not that far off in age. No, just come. And a lot of times I have free tickets too. People like free and discounted. So, there's a Black film you want to see, DM me first because I might got the plug.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for taking
But I also want to say that I wish I could have brought a bigger group to Warm December because that film was amazing. We came 5 deep, but I wanted to come 20 deep because that film was so good.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. That was dope. And thank you for that because we are going to be returning to the Bryn Mawr Film Institute.
We are.
Tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, the Micheaux Mission will be hosting the screening of D'Urville Martin, the summer of D'Urville Martin, as we host a screening of 5 on the Black Hand Side.
5 on the Black Hand
Tomorrow
Side.
night at 7 p.m. at the Bryn Mawr Film Institute, ladies and gentlemen. Tickets are available now. You can go to our website or you can go to Bryn Mawr Filminstitute.org and get your tickets. We will have free pretzels.
For God's sake.
That's right. Free pretzels.
That's a good sell in Philly. People like pretzels here. That's a good sell.
Free pretzels, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Pretzels. Not pretzel bites.
Well, not pretzel bites, because I can't have pretzel bites for everybody.
Pretzel bites for
That'd be a lot of pretzel bites.
Right. So,
but I can have free pretzels. I can have pretzels.
Big, doughy, dry.
It's not going to be dry. They're going to be delicious.
There's salt on them too.
They will have salt.
There will be free pretzels. Popcorn will also be available.
Okay, yeah.
But you gotta buy the popcorn.
You gotta buy the popcorn.
Yeah, you gotta buy the popcorn.
But the pretzels are free.
And the movie is great.
And the movie is great. Five on the Black Hand Side.
Yeah.
It's a dope 70s family comedy.
Yeah, and we've reviewed it, but we'll have a talk back afterwards.
We will.
Hang on. So yeah, come on out. It'll be fun.
It'll be fun, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Hey, Stephanie, when we sat down, you were like really giddy, like almost like, jumping out of your seat. And that was because you said you had a friend that actually got a bit of good news recently.
Yes. So, I do stand with the writers, WGA writers strike. However, one of my really good friends, Judnick, was nominated for an Emmy for her work on Intergalactic, which is the Kid Cudi animated film, which is really cute. So if you haven't seen it, y'all should definitely check it out. It's really good. And shout out to Nikki, go girl.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations. Oh, so now we got to be rooting for
That's
exactly.
right.
Exactly. So if anybody out there is like, oh, there's no animated Black love films, Intergalactic.
And
we like to pull for things here, so.
Yeah, so we'll be pulling for
Absolutely.
Nick.
Absolutely.
Writer. Intergalactic. Dope. All right.
All right.
Let's get into the show, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Because I'm excited for, all the things.
Ooh, shenanigans.
Because I actually watch the show. Some people will come on, it's like a podcast, and they'll have no idea what's going on, but I know what y'all about to do, so I'm like pretty excited.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Well, we do appreciate that. We are going to kick things off with our regular features tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And that means that we will be starting off. Wait a minute, we have a question in the chat. I knew this was going to come. Calvin in the chat is asking whether or not there will be spicy mustard for the pretzels
We are still
tomorrow.
talking about pretzels.
This is valid.
That's a valid point.
Will there be mustard, Lynn?
Well, here's the thing. Stephanie, you be the judge. Because I'm getting the pretzels.
Okay.
And I knew...
Oh, you're new to pretzels.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, I thought you said you're getting into it like you're new. Okay, go ahead.
No. I'm getting the pretzels for tomorrow.
Got you. Okay.
Right. This is Lynn's.
No. This is from the womb. Pretzels. But I'm getting them, and I actually was thinking to myself, Calvin brings up a good question. Because I knew that I had to get mustard. But do I get the regular yellow mustard or do I get the spicy mustard? Or do I splurge and get both?
I say splurge because some people are kind of bland. They like the regular orange. I'm a spicy mustard person. So, I stand in solidarity with you, Calvin, on tonight. So I think you should splurge and do both.
All right, Calvin. Stephanie is in your corner. So there will be regular mustard and spicy mustard for the pretzels tomorrow at the Bryn Mawr Film Institute. Okay? All right. That good for you? You don't care.
I'm just waiting for the mustard portion of the program.
He doesn't care.
Go ahead.
He'll be eating this dry popcorn.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird.
Anyway, Calvin, we're moving on now.
Okay.
All right?
Moving on.
We're moving on now to, he says, thank you, Stephanie. We're moving on now to the top 5.
Right.
Top 5. My top 5 is. My top 5 is. My top 5 is.
Top 5, ladies and gentlemen, where I come up with a list and I give it to Vince and to Stephanie to add their commentary on. And tonight, as always, we try and keep things in theme. We're going to be reviewing Jason's LYRIC tonight. So these are top 5 Jason films, but with a twist.
Okay.
Because these are films that have Jason in the title in the order that I believe Vincent would like them.
Okay.
So this is not how I was necessarily
you're projecting.
Yeah, I'm projecting.
Right.
I'm projecting here.
So what we're really going to see is what you think of me.
Exactly.
Okay. This should be interesting.
All right.
Or awkward.
And we'll start with number 5.
Number 5.
Which is Freddy versus Jason.
Freddy versus Jason. Of course, we knew that Jason from the Friday the 13th series would make an appearance.
Right.
But you are starting with the crossover.
Right, from 2003. With Freddy versus Jason. Freddy, of course, Freddy Krueger.
Of course.
From the Nightmare on Elm Street horror series. Mm-hmm. The Jason being Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th series. This was, in fact, a crossover of the franchises. It was the 8th installment in the Nightmare franchise. It was the 11th in the Friday the 13th. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This film is... The premise is that Freddy... Oh boy. Freddy is weakened and forgotten because the citizens of his hometown of Springwood have defeated him by using medications that repress dreams.
Right.
Freddy awakens Jason to stir up fear and grow his power so that he may return and kill again. Mm-hmm. So he awakens Jason to make them scared so that he can come back. And
Solid plan.
But Jason turns out to be not so easily controlled as Freddy initially thought, and the two supernatural mass murderers come into conflict in a movie that is beyond bonkers. I don't know. You probably have never seen it.
I've never seen this.
No, you gotta watch it.
Do I?
For the nostalgia. Do it for the nostalgia.
Yeah.
For the nostalgia. But here's the reason why I think you would like it.
Okay.
It is it's bonkers.
Right.
It makes absolutely no sense.
Look, it's the 8th and or the 11th series film in the series. So at this point, is this before or after Jason in space?
This is after Jason.
Right, because that's like Jason 10.
Right.
That he was in space.
Right.
Yeah, so, you know.
But this is as close as in the horror genre as you're going to get, because you're not a big horror person.
No, but
you like kaiju movies.
And quietly, I like the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, this is as close to a kaiju Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Okay. All right.
So this is why I think that you would like this.
All right. I'm interested to see the 4 films that you think I like better than this. Because I feel like there are 4.
Sure there are. That have Jason's name in it.
Right. I'm wondering if your number 1 is going to be my number 1. Let's see.
I bet it is.
All right.
But going to number 4. And we are staying in the Jason Voorhees series.
It's more Jason movies.
Yes, it is. This is Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. Now, this is from 1989. And this is a movie. Now, despite the title, the movie largely takes place on a boat. Did you see this one?
I vaguely recall this one.
It largely takes place on a boat as he makes his way to Manhattan. And he kills everybody on the boat. And then I think like maybe the last 15 minutes he disembarks from the boat and kills people at the pier. And then maybe around the pier.
A big boat?
Yeah, it's like a big like not like a cruise ship.
Right.
But kind of like one of them like whaling vessels and shit like that.
I'm going to make a reference that would have seemed really, really clever a year ago, but now like it's a movie coming out actually about it. So it's like the first chapter of the novel Dracula.
Exactly.
Where Dracula has killed everybody on the ship.
On the Demeter.
On the Demeter coming over.
Right. And
see, like a year ago, people said, wow, Vince is real well read. Like he knows things. But like now it's a movie coming out. And they like, oh man, he just saw that movie coming out.
Nah. Are you going to go see the movie?
I am.
You don't like horror movies.
I love Dracula though.
Oh God, can I go with you? Cause I just want to watch you watch. I want to see you watch a horror movie.
I mean, it's Dracula though, so it's like.
Anyway.
Yeah, we should get tickets for that though, shouldn't we?
Okay, we'll make it happen.
All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Ever since he got on the list, now it's like, yo, do we got passes? Like, cause I can't do the movies without passes now. Anyway.
Coach.
Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yes.
It's stupid. It
Yes.
makes absolutely no sense. Here's the reason why I think that you would like it.
Okay.
I had to think of you, like, if you were looking at this movie, like, being promoted
Yeah.
and see Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah.
And in my mind, you might somehow sillingly connect, oh, this may either be a musical
Right.
or a Muppet spoof.
Because I was thinking about when you said Jason Takes Manhattan.
I knew you would go, Muppets Take Manhattan.
That's all right.
So
you are right.
You would go and see this.
Right.
You'd be disappointed.
Oh, right. It is neither a musical nor do the Muppets make an appearance.
But you would go.
All right. Okay. Solid reasoning.
All right.
Solid reasoning.
All right.
Okay, but why is it number 4 over Freddy versus Jason, which is iconic?
It is-
personally, it should be higher on the list.
It is
was
iconic.
About my list.
Right.
But Freddy versus Jason, you know what you're in for. It's
Right.
Freddy versus Jason. Jason Takes Manhattan, you can maybe talk yourself
Right,
into
talk
thinking
yourself-
it's going to be like a
right,
silly
right.
romp through.
It's true.
Him killing all the people you would kill in New York.
And I like musicals more
And
than
there's
I
a
like.
list.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Oh.
Yeah. You could
I
just
didn't see that.
All right.
Cut that out.
Look at it.
All right. Okay. All right. I'm with you so far.
All right.
All right.
Number 3.
Number 3. List of Jason movies I would like in order.
Yes.
All right.
This is Friday the 13th, Part
Oh
6.
my God, is it just going to be Friday the 13th?
Jason Lives.
Okay. Now, why is this above the other two?
Well, this is, in fact, the sequel to Friday the 13th, A New Beginning.
Right.
Which was the last one that featured a young Tommy Jarvis, who was actually, they tried to introduce into the Friday the 13th like lexicon and make him like the new protagonist, the big bad, right?
It was a new Jason.
Well, like a new Jason.
It's like new Jason.
Right. Well, his name is Tommy though.
New Jason, but his name was Tommy.
So he wasn't Jason. He was Tommy. He was Tommy, and he's black.
Oh, well, you buried the lead.
And he
Oh.
I ain't know New Jason was black.
and he was black.
We had
What
a
year
black
was
Jason.
this?
This was, well, Jason Lives is in 1986. Friday the 13th, A New Beginning, which featured Tommy, was in 1985.
Oh,
I gotta go back and do
so
my
it was too
homework.
soon.
Exactly.
He was ahead of his time.
Exactly. So what happens in Jason Lives, Tommy accidentally resurrects Jason while attempting to destroy his body to ensure that he will not return. And then Jason returns to Crystal Lake for another killing spree.
So then what happens to Tommy at the end?
If I understand correctly, Jason kills
Tommy.
Kills
Jason probably
Tommy.
kills Tommy.
Yeah.
So is Tommy a monster too?
No, it's
Tommy just a dude?
it's just a dude. He's just a dude.
So New Jason's just a dude.
Yeah, and that's just why they needed Jason to come back and resurrect things, and Jason lived.
And this is Jason, this is Friday the 13th part what?
6.
So are you saying that 5 and 6 might be in our wheelhouse?
Oh no.
Not that black.
No, it ain't that black.
It's not that black.
Oh,
ain't
we have
that
an
black.
update in the comments.
Tommy. Oh yes, that's right. Tommy lived and got the girl at the
That's
end.
right, Black King.
Sean Simmons, thank you.
So I don't know, Lynn.
Now you want it to be in our
Maybe. But this is a solid third choice now that you've told me about New Jason, who's actually a black guy, who's just sort of regular.
Well, I'll let you select that.
I don't know how I feel about this subtext that just a regular ass black dude can be a monster.
Anyway,
Number
number
shell
2.
tops. Go ahead.
We're moving to number 2.
All right, number 2.
Number 2 of the movies, the Jason movies that you would like in the order.
Okay.
You would like them.
Number 2.
Number 2 is from 2016. Mm-hmm. And this is Jason Bourne. action thriller.
Absolutely.
Starring Matt Damon.
Absolutely.
Features Matt Damon's return to the Bourne franchise.
Yeah.
After the first trilogy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then Jeremy Renner comes in, and now Matt Damon comes back in
Right.
a movie that features his name.
Yeah.
And the the Jason Bourne movies.
Oh yeah, that's that work.
They are that work.
Oh, yeah.
Top notch. Direction and action by Paul Greengrass. And it's number 2.
Because number 1 is, of course,
we're not there yet.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's number 2 because you like action.
I do, and I like them Bourne movies.
I know you like the Bourne movies.
I like them Bourne movies.
This was actually a return to form for the franchise.
Get in a little room with that Jason Bourne, he'll take a phone book and jam it in your throat.
Yes, through your throat.
That's right.
Yes, he was no joke. So that's why it's number 2.
Right. Okay, that's very solid number 2. And the only reason it's number 2, because number 1 would, of course, be 1970.
No, you're way years off. Well, what are you thinking?
It's got to be Jason and the Argonauts.
It is Jason and the Argonauts, but that's not 1970.
What, is that in the
Put that in the
60s?
comments.
Jason and the Argonauts is number 1 from 1963.
Wow, I did not know it was that early.
1963, Jason and the Argonauts, produced by Charles Schneer, directed by Don Chaffee, and stars people who we don't care. It was nobody cares about
Say the
it.
important part about Jason and the Argonauts.
The thing that makes this number 1 for Vincent,
say it.
is because this film was made in collaboration with stop motion
There it
animation
is.
visual effects artist Ray Harryhausen.
Ray Harryhausen.
And is known for its various legendary creatures, notably the iconic fight scene featuring 7 skeleton warriors.
Wow, so that's not in Sinbad?
No, it is in fact. I learned that when I was doing the whole Sinbad bit.
You have taught me something just now.
Well, that's one to grow on.
I would have sworn the skeletons. Are you familiar with any of this at all? So Ray Harryhausen was we nerding it up real. Was a special effects guy.
Stop motion,
but he
like
did stop motion,
like the puppets that move one
and
inch at a time.
and just a groundbreaking special effects artist. And the Sinbad and the Sinbad movies from the late 60s, early 70s are the ones everyone talks about. But Jason and the Argonauts is basically a Sinbad movie, but it's just Jason and the Argonauts. And his most famous special effect is like a dude fighting skeletons.
Oh, okay.
That is like all
It's
practical
like his
effects.
signature thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the reason why you conflated with Sinbad is because in Sinbad there is a skeleton fight, but it's not the famous.
It's not the famous
It's
one.
one. It's just one skeleton fighting Sinbad.
Okay.
But the 7 skeleton,
one
which
that
is the
you
big
think
one, when you
about.
think of them marching and all
Yeah.
that is actually in Jason and the Argonauts.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, that's a good list. Mainly because now I want to go watch Jason and the
And
Argonauts.
now all over again.
Yeah.
But look at
Right.
that. So you're gonna watch Jason and the Argonauts, and now you've got a black film. To
And
choose
now
for
we got
October.
some new black films for October.
Please don't.
With Tommy, the black monster, who's got the monstrous power of being a black man in the 80s.
Please don't. Please don't watch. Please don't select that. I'm begging you. Don't select.
It's got like a big radio.
Oh God.
Cha, 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 cha. You just got like just have a big ass radio.
You just.
And some listening to that rap music.
That hippity hop.
Right, because it's 1985. Oh, he's listening to rap music. Talking about like hide the white women.
Oh God.
You just killing people with bass.
Right.
You just putting bass
Right.
next to the.
It's got like a gold tooth.
Maybe gold tooth back in the 80s.
Right.
Have gold teeth. Have a double ring.
Yeah, double ring. Yes. All right. Solid list.
Did you have a double ring? Like 2 rings?
No, I didn't.
I did.
I had like a solid one that had my name. Well, the short version of my name, but it was just one.
Okay.
Okay. I did. I had like on these 2 fingers that said my nickname, my old rap name.
What was your old rap name?
Well, it's my artist name, Cruz.
Can we like find you on any socials?
None of my music made it to the
that you
internet.
You don't
right, you don't know that.
I was about to say, you never know.
Then go on Spotify. And look
Anyway, so let's keep it moving.
All right.
we're gonna find this music.
All right.
No, we're not. No, we are not. We're now going to move into our next feature, which is 6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin.
A stop motion game in and of itself.
It is. Mm-hmm. It is indeed.
All right.
It's funny. I just sit here and watch Jade. 6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin, ladies and gentlemen, where Vincent will attempt to connect in 6 films or less 2 actors of my choice to that 70s stop motion actor, D'Urville Martin.
The father of practical special effects.
Yes. His mustache was a practical effect to be seen. Mm-hmm. And keeping in theme, Vincent.
Okay.
These are 2 famous Jason actors.
2 famous Jasons. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. These might prove a little challenging for you.
All right. Well, let's see.
Yeah, you're really doubting Vincent, and like I've seen the magic. I think he can do it.
Okay.
All right.
I'm rooting for you.
Oh, thank you.
You want to bet on how many movies?
It's 6 degrees. So
Right. Yeah, but he might do it in less than 6.
5.
Okay, you're betting 5. Oh.
What do we win though if he does it in 5? What do we win? Besides pretzels.
I don't know what's wrong with pretzels,
right.
But I don't know. What can we bet?
I'll think about it.
All right.
What do we got?
All right. Number one.
In
6 films or less.
6 films or less.
Connect D'Urville Martin to
2.
Jason Isaacs.
Jason Isaacs.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, wow. He has got a lengthy filmography.
He does. I'm just trying to think.
Jesus.
Of the last thing I saw him in.
This is not giving anything away. The man has been in 92 films.
Yeah, he's always around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jason Isaacs. What's the last thing he's in?
Last thing that he was in that has been released, because he's got quite a few in production, was Spinning Gold.
I don't know. We only watch black movies.
Oh, is that the disco movie that just came out?
Yes.
Oh.
I don't know who else was in that.
Yeah. There's literally 2 other names in this, and none of them would help you.
Jason.
No, 3 other names that you would know.
Jason Isaacs.
Here's the thing. You know movies he's been in.
I know, but he's like one of those guys who's always sort of in the periphery almost.
No.
What was he a lead in?
I mean, I'm not going to say he was like necessarily a leading man, but he's kind of been up front in the
like sort of military things.
No. He's been in a few movies where he had a prominent role.
I am completely blanking on what he was in.
Vincenzo. Well, before Spinning Gold, his last movie was Mrs. Harris Goes to Prison. Oh, Goes to Paris, excuse me. That was a big
Paris
slip.
and prison are far off.
Clean my glasses.
It'll depend on who you ask.
Right.
Gen Z hates Paris.
Do you have a lifeline? Do you want to ask your...
I don't know. I don't
Stephanie,
know who Jason Isaacs is, y'all. I was about to ask you to slide the wiki over.
He's done quite a bit of voice work, but... all right, here's a movie from 2017 that maybe you saw. I enjoyed the hell out of. The Death of Stalin.
I did not see The Death of Stalin.
Oh, you should see that. It's a great movie.
I just can't. And I know he's always in stuff.
All right, I'm about to give it away. I'm going to give it away, Vincent.
Okay, give it away.
He was in part 1, part 2, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
Who was he in Harry Potter?
He's Malfoy's father.
Oh, he sure is, but he's got that wig on. Which is why I don't think about him. Okay. So that means that he's in the movie with what's his name that plays Dumbledore? What's that man's name?
Michael.
No, not Michael. Dumbledore.
Dumbledore.
That's
Yeah, it's Michael Gambon.
That's not Dumbledore.
Okay. All right. If you say so, Vincent. You're telling me that that's not Dumbledore. Okay.
The main wizard, the dude with the long...
The lead guy, yeah, Michael Gambon.
That's got to be young Dumbledore.
No, Vincent. I'm telling you, it's Michael Gambon. Because he had to take over because the first guy passed away.
Dumbledore didn't die?
No, Dumbledore didn't die.
No.
The first guy that played
What's
Dumbledore
Magneto?
died.
Patrick Stewart's boy.
Ian McKellen.
I thought he was Dumbledore.
No.
Oh, I'm thinking about Lord of the Rings.
Oh, God.
All right. All right.
You wanted to see magic, Stephanie.
I know. This is how it happens.
It's really about to happen. I know you can do it at 5.
This is how it happens. Okay. So, he is in Harry Potter with...
Watch, you're not even using Michael Gambon now.
No, I'm not going to use Michael Gambon.
There's so many other people to use.
He is in Harry Potter with, what's her name? Maggie Smith?
Yes.
Maggie Smith. And Maggie Smith is in,
That's not where I would have gone, but go ahead.
Maggie Smith is in the whatchamacallit movie, isn't she? Your show with the old white people in England?
Downton Abbey.
Is she in Downton Abbey?
She is in Downton Abbey.
She's in Downton Abbey with
I'm about to say, who else do you know in Downton Abbey?
Isn't the brother from Philly in Downton Abbey? The movie?
Which brother from Philly?
Hamilton.
Oh, Leslie Odom.
Leslie.
Isn't Leslie Odom in
Shout
that?
out to Leslie. Shout out to Freedom Theater.
He's in. Yeah, he is in one of them. Yeah.
Okay. Leslie Odom.
You were deep.
Yeah, well, because he's the only black person in Downton Abbey.
And I think he's only in one of them.
Look, Leslie Odom. I thought he was in the movie though.
Yeah, but there's been 2 movies.
Leslie Odom is in. Hamilton with Lin-Manuel Miranda.
You are cutting it close, brother.
Were we 4?
What are we for?
Is that 4 or 3?
I thought it was 3.
That's 3. Yeah, it's 3.
Oh.
All right.
I'm just trying to connect. I'm trying to see where you're going. Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Lin-Manuel Miranda is in the Heights with Corey Hawkins.
Okay.
How many is that? Is that 4?
That will be 4.
Who's in The Tragedy of Macbeth with Denzel Washington, who's in No Better Blues with Dick Anthony Williams.
Okay, that's 6. So you're actually at 7 because you got to go Dick Anthony Williams.
All right. Then forget that. Then I got to start all over then.
Okay.
All right. So Jason Isaacs is in.
Let me give you the quicker route from Harry Potter.
Who?
Instead of Maggie Smith. Go Alan Rickman.
Oh yeah, and then you go from Alec Rickman to Danny Glover. No, not Danny Glover.
No. I can't give it to you.
No. Shit. Moonlighting.
Who's in? Oh, she doesn't.
She doesn't know Moonlighting.
She doesn't Moonlighting.
Die Hard. Die Hard.
Who's in Die Hard? Because I don't want to give it to him.
Die Hard is. Oh my God, this is so. I know it's not Danny Glover that's in Die Hard.
No, that's a totally different race.
Die Hard is Tom Cruise.
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. Sorry, Bruce. Sorry, Bruce. We're praying
Willis,
for you, Bruce.
Who's in Pulp Fiction with Samuel Jackson.
Okay.
Who's in Mo Better Blues with Dick Anthony Williams. Who's in 5 on the Black Hand Side
with
D'Urville Martin.
Screening tomorrow at Bryn Mawr Film Center.
There you go. All
Film
right.
Institute, not Film Center. Sorry.
Jason Isaacs is a good one because he's just sort of there.
Oh.
You're I saw someone who.
I'm sure everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all breaking it down. Damon is
He's
talking
in
about
The Patriot.
The Patriot. Your brother was saying he was in The Patriot. And Deborah Battle is saying Jason is in Harry Potter with Maggie Smith, who's in Sister Act with Whoopi Goldberg, who's in The Color Purple with Leonard Jackson.
There you go.
Who's in 5 on the Black Hand
All
Side
right.
with Deborah Martin.
All right. Give me my second Jason so we go ahead and.
All right. Second Jason.
So I lost your bet. Because
Sorry.
it's all right.
It's okay.
So now you owe me pretzels.
Yes.
So this second Jason, this may be a little bit harder.
Well, who is it?
I'm about to tell you. In 6 films or less, get from D'Urville Martin to Jason Robards.
Jason Robards.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I just saw him in something.
I mean, it should be easy.
I thought you just said it's supposed to be harder.
It would be harder for him.
Oh.
Jason. Oh, what did I just see him in? What was I just watching that Jason Robards was in? What movie would I have been watching that I saw Jason Robards?
I don't know.
Look at this. Look like you did the top 5.
Right.
What movie was he in?
There's a
that
whole
Vince
segment of you
would have
knowing what
just
he
watched?
liked. So you should know this answer.
Were you just seeing? Were you watching All the President's Men?
No. Okay. That doesn't sound like something I would have been watching over the past week, flipping the channels, and I saw it, and I said, "Oh wow!" And then it was Jason Robards in it.
I have no idea what you would have been watching with him, Vincent.
What's he in the 70s?
Let's see.
I just saw Jason Robards.
All the President's Men. This is what he was in.
Or the 80s.
Let's see. 80s.
Vince's home. He's flipping the channel. It's like 10 o'clock at night.
Oh.
It's like It's like Wednesday.
I don't think this is it, but were you perhaps watching The Legend of the Lone Ranger?
I was not.
Okay.
I was not.
Cause that's a Vincent movie.
That's definitely a Vincent movie.
That's a Vincent movie.
I was flipping, and it was Jason Robards. It may have been the 80s.
I'm looking at 80s. I don't want to give too many movies, Vincent. I'll give it away.
I mean, you gave him like 7 movies this last round.
You did?
No shade, I'm on your team.
No.
I gotta keep people honest.
I didn't give him 7 movies. He went to 7. Okay, he was in 80s. He was in Something Wicked This Way Comes.
It wasn't that.
Bright Lights, Big City.
No, but of course I can use that one because that's Michael, not Michael Keaton, Michael J. Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just use that.
You can. It's up to you.
Just use Michael J. Fox. So, okay. Okay, so this is how you get to Dervaux Martin. Dervaux Martin is in, kind of the same way. This is a cheap way, but let's just go ahead and go. Dervaux Martin is of course in Five on the Black Hand Side with Dick Anthony Williams, who's in Mo Better Blues with Samuel L. Jackson, who is in Kill Bill Part 1 with Lucy Liu, who is in Charlie's Angels with not Michael Modine. What's that weird dude's name? The dude who plays Michael J. Fox's father in Back to the Future.
Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover. And Crispin Glover is in Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox, who's in Bright Lights, Big City with Jason Robards.
Very good.
Fabulous.
There you go.
Very good.
What movie am I thinking about that I was just watching with Jason Robards?
From the 90s,
Okay.
he was in Beloved.
Oh, it wasn't Beloved. Yeah, I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't just turn it on Beloved. Oh, let's watch a
I have a
little
story
bit.
about Beloved. I was supposed to be in Beloved, y'all. I wasn't supposed to be in it, but I auditioned to be in Beloved.
Playing what?
Playing
Beloved?
The opening scene with the kids, the children, like, and the mom is going crazy, blah blah blah. I was supposed to be one of the kids.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Killed my thespian dreams. But my audition was amazing. I wish it was like recorded somewhere I could watch it.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Sorry to hear that.
Great film though. Everybody should go see it.
It was a good
Shout out
movie.
to Oprah.
We enjoyed Beloved.
It was a good movie. I'm trying to think of the film that you may have just been watching. So I'm going to go through
Like a light 80s comedy?
a light Parenthood.
What's in Parenthood?
He was in Parenthood. He was in Melvin and Howard. I don't know what you would have been.
Yeah, all right.
I don't know.
But I just saw Jason Robards. I actually said, oh, it's Jason Robards.
He was also in Philadelphia. He plays one of the big lawyers.
Somebody said that.
Oh, yeah, and that would have gotten me to him quick because that's Tom Hanks and
Denzel.
Denzel. All right. All right.
Very good, Vincent.
Very good. Well, it was, we got it done.
You got it done.
You got it done.
That's all that counts.
All right.
All right.
Oh, these Jasons.
Look, and the people in the chat, God bless them, but who knows what they're working with?
Who knows?
You're working without a rope.
We're without a rope. Just Lynn feeding me little information. So there you go.
All right.
All right. And we'll be doing that live tomorrow.
We'll be doing
I'm
that live
excited.
tomorrow
Lynn
night.
don't have some random, just sort of, like I should have looked up Jason's.
You should have.
I should have been Jason Reddy.
You should. Yeah.
I was not Jason Reddy.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't have your utility belt.
I did not. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
It's all good.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
It's time for us to get into our review of Jason's Lyric with Stephanye Watts
Yes.
of the Be Real Black Cinema Club.
Period.
Because I practice that. So I'm going to say it all night. All right. Jason's Lyric. The story of a young man, Jason, played by one Alan Payne, who must confront his trauma-induced insecurity about love, as well as a sense of owed responsibility to his mother, played by Suzanne Douglas, and his troubled brother, played by named Joshua, played by Bokeem Woodbine. Jason, an assistant manager and sales clerk at an electronics store, falls in love with Lyric, played by one Jada Pinkett before the Smith, and finds happiness, but his family history and mentally ill war veteran father Mad Dog, portrayed by Forrest Whitaker, plague his life plans before he can leave it all for a better life. In this film from 1994, that was directed by Doug McHenry, and also alongside Alan Payne and Jada Pinkett and Suzanne Douglas stars Tretch of Naughty by Nature fame, and Eddie Griffin.
He was so good in it.
Yeah. In a film that was selected by our guest, the head mistress of the Be Real Black Cinema Club, Stephanye Watts. Stephanie, what say you of Jason's Lyric?
I love this film. I think in its era, this was during the like West Coast gangster gang films, and I love Jason's Lyric mainly because it was set in Houston, and it kind of took their whole genre out of LA. And I love that idea because I just felt like we were kind of getting burned out with like, okay, how many times I'm gonna see the same thing about what's happening in Compton and South Central? I knew nothing about Houston. I knew nothing about Texas. So I loved that it was just set in the South.
Right.
And also I loved that it was like I mean, of course it had all the kind of, I guess, trappings of like hood movies of the 90s, but it also was very much so a love film. And I thought that was so sweet. Because like, you know, street dudes, they need love too. So I just love there was a combination of those two things in the film. And it was also just like stats. Like who wasn't in that movie?
Yeah, that's very true.
You know what I mean? It was stats. And we also forgot to mention Lisa Nicole Carson is in the film.
Yes.
My queen. I hope she's doing fabulous wherever she may be this very second. And, you know, I think it had such a range of, I guess, seasoned actors. So, like, Suzanne Douglas, rest in peace, and Forrest Whitaker. But then also, it's like we're seeing that rappers are now continuing to be put in films. So shout out to Tretch. And then we had people, you know, like Jada, who was still fairly new. Very new. And it was a very like intergenerational kind of film as well in terms of like where they were in their careers. And it's just a fabulous movie. Like I rewatched it recently for tonight and it still holds up. And I think the themes actually hit a little deeper now as an adult watching this film now, because when it came out, I was in 4th grade.
Oh yeah.
So,
like...
and I continue to watch it, of course, over the years. But it had been some time, probably before the pandemic, since I last watched it. Because I have it on VHS, and I did not get a TV until, even though I still have my VHS and DVD combo player, I didn't have a TV until like 2 years ago.
Okay. Oh, okay. Wow.
So I haven't been able to watch my VHS. Of Jason's Lyric, and I kind of like the VHS quality over the streaming.
Sure.
Like I watched it on streaming, and I was like, oh, the like crackle isn't the, you know, it ain't the same.
I need to adjust the tracking.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
it wasn't. It hit, and also too, just a beautiful film. Like it's just beautiful to look at, and as you're watching it, I feel like you're there. Like, y'all like feel sweaty and damp when you're watching it?
Very true. It's a very sweaty movie. It's a very, very sweaty movie. But the you pointed out how like beautiful it is. I think like the way the movie opens, because it opens with, you know, Alan Payne's Jason on the bus, and he's there. He's just sitting on the bus, and he's looking out the window, and he's got like this bright pink shirt on, t-shirt on. And then as he, like, it's just melancholy looking at the scenery, it dissolves into like this field of wildflowers where the pinks are just so lush. And I do have to agree. I was like, oh, that was kind of smooth though. That was kind of smooth. That looked really like, and despite, like you said, while it definitely has some of the urban trappings, and there is a bit of the like Jason's Lyric, the title can be read one of two ways based on the time. You know, a hip hop vibe, but also Lyric is Jada's name, and it also sounds more like a literate title, which is where this movie definitely lives. That type of scenery just lets you know that the filmmakers are trying to do something different. They set this in the South. They set this in the Fifth Ward of Houston, because they want to give you a different slice of Black life, a different piece of the Black experience in America. They want to touch on a lot of things. They want to touch on people returning from incarceration and the struggles that they deal with. They want to touch on family trauma, but it's all right there in those wildflowers where anything can happen, right? And I was like, all right, I'm digging the poetry that they're trying to put down here. I'm seeing that. And same with you. I wasn't 4 years old, but when I did see this, I don't know if it originally, I don't know if it hit me on that level. And watching it again, I was like, okay, I'm picking up what y'all throwing down. This is pretty smooth. It's different. It's different. And you're right. These actors, so many of them, like, yes, they're bracketed by Susan Douglas and Forrest Whitaker, but it's the Alan Payne, Jada Pinkett show. It's the Bokeem Woodbine show. For
sure.
And Bokeem Woodbine, we have said it here before, that is an actor that makes choices. And
commits to them.
And I'm never going to be mad at an actor that makes a definite choice and sticks with it the entire rest of the film. This is what I'm doing in the movie. Y'all either going to catch up or not. And that is what Bokeem Woodbine is doing in this movie. And you know it from the first time you see him, and that stiff walk that he is doing. I'm like, this man has made a choice, and he is going to live this choice for the rest of the movie. And for me, even back then, this was his coming out party. As much as I think this was planned, we've talked about it, and we'll probably touch on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was supposed to be kind of like a bit of a coming out party for Alan Payne.
But it was Bokeem.
This is Bokeem Woodbine's coming out party. And he presents himself to the world like, look at me, look at what I can do.
Yeah. This is the film that I noticed, Bokeem Woodbine. And it's funny, I was listening to another reviewer, we talked about Bokeem Woodbine, and it made me think about him in here, where he almost feels like he's in his own movie.
Exactly.
Like he's making this parallel movie with everyone else. Just to parrot what everyone has said, I love the sense of place that, this sort of Galveston kind of town right outside of Houston that you did not see. Like, and frankly, you don't see it that often now. It's a great cast. It's a great cast. We love Suzanne Douglas. Forrest Whitaker is in here for a little bit doing stuff, and you expect that. Like, you expect that from actors of these. But I was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed Eddie Griffin.
Me too.
Like, I really liked his performance in this, and I also I've not seen this film in years. So, like, I had forgotten a lot of the beats, but I really liked Eddie Griffin. I really liked, Lisa Nicole Carson.
This was her coming out party for her, too.
This was her coming out party. I run real cool with Jada Pinkett. Okay. And I think her performance in here is okay. And you can play a game with the ever disappearing accent.
Oh yeah,
the accent now. Are we trying to say positive?
Well, here's the crazy thing. Nobody is really trying to do an accent except for Alan Payne and Jada Pinkett.
Crazy.
It's like, why are y'all doing this accent?
He said, I ain't never watched a sunset before.
But I wanted to land with the Jada Pinkett. I hadn't seen this in years. I had forgotten how young she was.
That's right. That's right.
But you 100% get why Jada Pinkett becomes Jada Pinkett.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's so pretty. And she has such presence.
That's the thing. She has presence.
That, this is another one of those cases where you see these early performances and they pop. And you say, oh, well, 20, 30 years later, you understand why this person became this person.
Exactly, because she in this film, she's young. So the acting is maybe like a little shaky. Like we talked about the accent and everything like that. But the presence, the confidence that she has in every one of those moments, like you could tell like she knows what she wants to do. I don't think she 100% realizes how to get it across yet. She's still figuring that out, but she knows what's the right move.
And the compliment that I always give Jada Pinkett, I always forget how physically small she is.
Yeah.
Like she has such presence that you forget just how small she is physically. But look, I think what kind of separates this movie from films from this period that have gone on to become like these, sort of unarguable classics. You know, your Best Man or your Love Jones. I think Alan Payne, and I've been thinking about Alan Payne all day.
As one does.
Because I really like Alan Payne. Like I've always liked Alan Payne since he was on The Cosby Show. And I think the problem with Alan Payne, I think he has been miscast 3 times in a row.
Okay.
I think you go from New Jack City to this to the New Jack City knockoff that I think was supposed to be his kind of stealth reset, Blueberry Hill.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is that this comes out in this weird transitional period, frankly, before Love Jones. And that kind of ilk. And what I said in my notes is people tried to put him in that Denzel Washington lane, this sort of leading man, and he's kind of brooding and that's not Alan Payne. Alan Payne should have been in the Taye Diggs lane.
Oh, interesting.
Because he's charming.
Yeah.
He has this kineticism when he starts talking. My favorite Alan Payne scene in this film, there's a moment where Jada Pinkett's character, Lyric, is resisting Jason. Because, her brother Tretch is a criminal and they're in the third
I don't
war.
ride with gangsters.
And I don't ride with gangsters. And Alan Payne's Jason has this wonderful monologue about how he's not a gangster. And I work in this store and I wear this uniform and I eat fried chicken every night. And it's poppy and it's that Lance energy from the Cosby Show where Alan Payne is charming. Alan Payne brooding and thinking about things, I don't think is a good speed for him. So that, and we've said this before, there are so many parts of this movie that I like. But at the end of it, I like every part of this movie, whether it is the family dynamic in the flashback. Like I could have watched Suzanne Douglas and Forrest Whitaker bounce off each other. The family dynamic in the present between Suzanne Douglas and her two boys. Tretch, who apparently is Robin Banks 6 years before Set It Off. He's sort of this bank robber. Hell, the restaurant that Lisa Nicole Carson and Jada Pinkett work at, where Lisa Nicole Carson is trying to better herself.
This is it. So
Eddie Griffith and whatever it is he has going on. Is he a pimp? Is he a drug dealer? Is he just one of these guys?
He's just outside.
He's just
outside.
Eddie Griffith
he
is
just pops
outside.
up everywhere.
Don't touch his hair. I'm like, wow, there's something real interesting going on here. But I was more interested in every aspect of the plot than their actual love story. And I think that's because of how Alan Payne is situated as this kind of, again, in this kind of pre-Love Jones. I said Taye Diggs, but really it's Lorenz Tate.
Whose brother is also in.
Whose brother is also
with his
in it.
very thick Chicago accent all up and through the film.
Well, but he's just out of jail. He ain't say he from here.
That's valid.
He ain't saying he from here.
Right.
So that's cool. Well, what did you think of the love story aspect of this? Because that is the big the big piece of this movie. It's one of the big set pieces that many people have told me that they remember from this movie. Is
I spent more time with Alan Payne's naked butt than I had planned on.
I know.
When I got up this morning.
I know.
That awoken things in me as a young person. I was like, yeah. What I think about the love story, I think for me, this film, and I think all the films from that era were very authentic to like just everyday Black life. And so I think their story was so realistic. It's like their girl who her brother in the streets and she's trying to do everything to not be in that lane and always trying to like, better herself, focus on getting up out of here. And this guy coming to talk to her and it's like, I don't even want to do this. I don't know you. You could be in the streets. I don't want anything to do with it. And then just, him kind of like softening her and it was just very sweet. And I think, when we're in the times of like weird dating Twitter conversations and dating podcasts where romance is like very antithetical to what's happening right now.
Yes.
It kind of reminds me of just like that old school vibe, when you just be on the phone talking to somebody and y'all don't even be talking about nothing. Y'all just be on the phone silent just to be on the phone or, them just like hanging out at the bayou, not even doing anything. It's just like being each other's presence. Like, I don't know. It's just very sweet. And it's a very specific place and time that this kind of relationship would, look this way.
Okay.
Yeah, it would look that way, but I gotta land with Vincent. I wasn't feeling it, and it was because of Alan Payne. Unlike the two of you, I don't think much of Alan Payne as an actor. I thought he was fine on the
I said I think about his butt. I didn't say I think highly of him as an actor.
Okay. Well, I don't think much of his butt either. Well, I guess it was a nice, his butts go.
Fab.
I've thought more about his butt today than I've probably ever thought about his butt.
Take a shot every time we say butt, y'all.
Don't do that. Damon will be right in there. Go ahead. Now I'm conscious when I say butt. Yeah, I wasn't feeling their connection because I actually thought that Alan Payne was like the scene you was talking about. I thought that maybe was his best scene, but I don't think he was that great in that scene. I think it was his best scene, but he's not that great in the scene. I don't remember which accent he used or didn't use in that moment.
There's about 3 of them.
Yeah, because he's juggling a few.
He's doing something.
I don't know what is happening in this movie. And Jada is probably only got 2.
Yeah.
But Alan's got like a whole bunch of them up there spinning. And I you're right, him brooding doesn't work. It doesn't work at all, especially when you're trying to brood next to Bokeem Woodbine. Yeah. Dude, just give it up. Let's just give it up, man. Like, trying to do anything, just be. When you're in a scene with Bokeem Woodbine, this is why Eddie Griffin works. Because when Eddie Griffin is in any scene, he's just being. And I paid attention to what he is. And you got to remember, Eddie Griffin is, first and foremost, a comedian.
Absolutely.
And this is one of his first acting roles. So, but even as a comedian, the one thing you learn is that as much as you prowl that stage, there's times when you got to just stand and lean on your words. And Eddie Griffin, smartly, who was not a young comedian, at that moment, there's a lot of scenes I watched him, and he is saying his lines. He's not moving. He's not like doing a whole bunch of business. He is just confident in himself, standing there, and that's why he makes that much even more of a presence, right? Especially when you've got somebody like Bokeem Woodbine bouncing off of the stage next to you. You need that stillness. Alan Payne doesn't know that. So Alan Payne is trying to outbrood Bokeem Woodbine.
It's the light-skin brooding. The Drake vibes.
There, you cannot, there's nothing you can outdo Bokeem Woodbine.
Put a pin in what you just said.
On the screen. You can't do it. So brooding Alan Payne doesn't work. But then when he is trying to be romantic Alan Payne, I don't believe it either. Because he's got this, his face, it just, I don't know, I just didn't believe it. And there were times when he is kissing Jada Pinkett where it was some of the most awkward kissing that I have ever seen in my entire life.
But I think some of that, is, to me, Jason's character seems like this is his kind of first foray.
Oh, no.
It gives that.
I mean, that's in the text.
Jason's vibe gives me. I'll be running behind my mom and dad, my mom and my brother all the time.
That's true.
I don't have time to be dating people, and I don't really know what I'm doing. And I'm dating this girl who's very self-assured, who's actually like curving me, and I gotta try to like catch up to where she is. And that's the kind of vibe I got. Like he's like washing her feet. It's just like. He's like, oh, I seen this on a movie, so I'm gonna do it. You get what I mean? Like that's the vibe I got from Jason.
I would ride with you on that, except the brother knew that when he saw her leaving the restaurant, the move was to follow her.
But remember, he left his key, so then Eddie Griffin was like,
No, okay, but he knew the move was to follow her.
Right. But he didn't have the finesse.
Right. He wasn't smooth with it.
Yeah.
I mean, he
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. Anyway, I didn't buy their chemistry.
What I think is much more egregious is that no one who did the casting at all thought about the optics of the color stuff. And like at one point, I wanted Jada Pinkett to say to Jason, I understand because I too have an evil dark-skinned brother.
Oh my God.
Well, that's true. That's true. I want to see who are Jada and Tretch's parents.
Right.
Like,
but you know, black people look like anything.
Right.
Yeah,
I just thought the two light-skinned people being the perfect people, and you know, it's like these dark-skinned people holding them back.
And see, that's a 2023 lens, and I was like, someone in 2023 is definitely gonna call that out. Where I never paid attention to that until. And I guess I watch it for today.
And I guess because I'm darker skinned, I don't look at Bokeem Woodbine and see dark skin.
Unless he's standing next to Alan Payne.
Well, okay, very true. Yeah. I mean, they both were sweaty. Like, who knew? They both were sweaty with dirty t-shirts. Like, I didn't know. And like, there are moments in this movie. Okay, I wasn't feeling Alan Payne. And I'm sorry to say, I wasn't feeling Tretch. And I remember watching this movie thinking, oh, Tretch is doing some work.
He stayed in his lane now.
His lane was a few miles back.
I mean, he just had to sort of be
himself.
Brutish.
I don't know. He just was not, he was very, like, you would never know that at times Tretch was up for roles that Tupac got. But watching this, I see why Tupac got the roles and Tretch didn't. Because Tretch just didn't, I guess brooding didn't do it for me. Like, and then he's got like that high voice, like, you know, when he was playing with the saw and stuff. Yeah, he was just annoying me, man. He was like just doing too much.
You know the character that I really, really liked a lot this time? Their mother. I thought she was so complicated. Like, I remember the scene as a younger man where she threw up all of Bokeem Woodbine's food because it was drug money. But today I was like, wow, I feel like it's a lot of venom there. Like that's like I understand her sentiment, but he was actually trying.
But he also got her fired from her job.
Well, I think there was a lot of not misplaced anger, but anger over some other stuff that came out with that dinner thing. And I think Suzanne Douglas is a good enough actress that she kind of let that come through. And then the other thing, I loved when Jason says to her, you know, we're going to leave. And she says in the most beautiful old lady passive aggressive voice, oh, your brother's going to miss you. And I was like, wow, this is actually the kind of toxic thing that holds dudes back. Right. And then the scene later where she says, but I love that they took the beat to give her that moment to not just be kind of angelic and perfect. Well, okay. So like those two things, I really liked how that complicated her character.
I guess it does complicate it because you could also read her saying your brother's going to miss you as her just acknowledging that her brother's going to miss you. I do get the subtext. I see it. But you could also kind of like read that.
No, you gotta let that do. That actually helped explain to me why Jason was still there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's what I always
like when the film starts. Your question, well, why hasn't Jason left yet?
I know, because this is not Joshua's first time out of prison.
Right.
He's a repeat offender.
Right, and you got the sense Jada was nice, but she work at the restaurant and go stand on the bridge. I don't know how much she planning on ever going nowhere.
Very true.
But it seemed like
buses.
Jason had a work ethic. He had a plan. Like Jason could have left.
That's very true.
So
I had forgotten how long it takes for Jada to be introduced into the movie.
How about that? It's a solid half hour.
Yeah. It's like, wow.
And that's the thing about this film is so many themes playing at once, but I don't feel overstimulated, which happens for me a lot in films when they're trying to, especially now, everything is trying to be so deep or whatever. I'm like, what's going on? What is the actual plot here? And I think they were able to pace the film in a way that it can introduce each character, you get their story, you get some people's backstory, and it's still not like a claustrophobic script.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. And it's so many themes, like you talked about returning home from prison, also thinking about, people coming home from like the war and like, and the old heads talk about Nam and everybody different, and, thinking about, I love Lisa Nicole's Carson's character because a lot of times the hood girl in the black movie is just a hood girl.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there is this, I'm from Philadelphia, so I know a lot of girls from around the way, and one thing about them, they are so, there's something else going on that like you never see. So the way that she's like constantly like quoting these poems and all this, and the way she talks to Lyric at the end, and the way she talks, she's like, you found something that was so quiet.
Yep.
Like the way she talks.
In a world full of thunder. That's what she said. I said, well, all right.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, that's the kind of girl that I grew up around. You know what I'm saying? And I love seeing that fullness, So that's a whole nother conversation that's also being brought up in the film. And, it's just so much happening, but none of it feels, what's the word? Like they're trying to like push a message. It doesn't feel like they're trying to redeem anybody.
No.
It just is. And I feel like that's kind of something that we've lost with like, kind of like the big box black films now. It's like the people are just being, and there's really nothing else to it.
Yeah.
They just are, Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, like Alan Payne notwithstanding, I landed enjoying the movie. I did think that the other thing you mentioned about Lisa Nicole Carson and how she was talking to Lyric, I also kind of liked the way that she talked to Tretch because she would not accept half measures from him but she realized what this was.
Yes,
she didn't have no painted on illusions of it, and for whatever reason this was enough for her in this moment, but it was going to be enough for her on her terms.
She had boundaries.
Alonzo.
Yeah.
I thought she'd say his name, Alonzo.
This is when I noticed Lisa Nicole Carson.
I know.
And she just like, whatever scene she's in, no matter what, if it's Abby McBeal or whatever that show was called, or Love Jones or whatever, she always steals the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time. And then she's always playing the homegirl or like the side character, but she really like shines in a way. And I just love her, and I wish, that, things turned out differently for her because she just really had it. I love her.
Oh, yeah.
I love her.
Oh, yeah.
Love her. And the other thing, too, about this film that I think kind of hits different watching it now was like we weren't talking about mental health in 94.
That's very
How about
true.
that?
It was very much like, oh, look how he carrying on. Oh, you can never get right. Oh, God, here he come again. It was very that, and it wasn't like, okay, this man saw his brother, well, first of all, saw his father beating on his mother, saw his brother then kill his father, and and you could see at, I don't know how old he was supposed to be in that scene, at 4 or 5 years old, but that anger in his face.
There, seated.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is how our boys are growing up now. And like, because they're seeing things that children should not be seeing, and they have so much anger, so much resentment. And it's like, you can see there's a lot of resentment between him and Jason. You see resentment between him and his mom, and him not having a father to kind of like give him that guidance. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so many people I know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is real, and this is what's happening right now. And if there was some support around young people who are having these very traumatic experiences young, like, what could happen? Because the way he took himself out, like, the suicide rates for young black men right now, and it's because of what was happening in this film. You know what I mean? So, you know, I think that people should kind of go back and watch this film, because that's something that really, really hit differently for me this go round. Not to like put a damper on the party, but I had to, you know, bring that up.
Well, the two line readings in the final scene between Jason and what's his name? Sorry,
Joshua.
And Joshua, where Joshua says, "Are you gonna leave me?" And when Jason pulls out his gun and he says, "Don't make me do this again," and both of them are just little boys.
Yep.
Like, you realize that they're still those little boys.
Yep.
Because I'm a little boy saying, "Don't leave me," and I've never left that moment when I killed our father. So don't make me do this again. And you know, again, like, I could have watched a whole film about that family. And them just sort of working their way through that. And like you said, looking at it through our eyes, it's clear that Josh, like, he's self-medicating. Like, he's self-medicating.
He says it. He's like, oh, take this bottle to suppress the memory.
Yeah,
you know,
right? Like, he actually says it. So
And he's drinking Mad Dog.
and he's drinking well, he's actually drinking whatever he gets his hand on.
True,
Because
true,
he's
but at one
drinking
time
vodka
he was
and gin at one point, and then he pulled out like a hidden stash of whiskey. And you know, I'm against that. Like, you can't be
Mixing.
You can't be mixing light and dark liquors. That's when I said, "Oh yeah, he got a problem." Like, you at least stay consistent with your liquor.
And you can just see that he wants to be better. He wants to do better, but he
Right.
just can't get past
Right.
that moment.
Yeah.
This movie is everything. Like, at the end of it, I was like, oh my God, black people know they can act. That's how I want, because I mean, mostly Bokeem, but, you know, it's just, oh my God. Yeah, yeah.
Well, here's a question. Do you think this film has been lost a little bit?
I do.
I feel like people don't talk about Jason's lyric.
They don't.
Like, and I do think it is in that weird kind of post Boys in the, like, I think you had all of these important films. You know, it's like Spike Lee and like Spike Lee's children, so it's like Boys in the Hood and all these kind of almost message films. And then if you start with Love Jones, like I tend to start with that period, where it's sort of, it gets a little breezier, it gets a little lighter.
It's a little middle class, upper middle class.
It's a little middle class. But again, like, I had forgotten this came out before Love Jones.
Yeah.
So it is this kind of weird fit.
Well, I
like,
think,
neither fish nor fowl.
Well, I think it goes to what you said. You pointed out the miscasting of Alan Payne in the lead. Jada Pinkett being young, and thus the two leads, the hot, steamy sex scene notwithstanding, being maybe not meshing 100%, you know, as like this, like a couple for the ages in front of your eyes.
Right. They would have done better in something a little lighter.
Right.
You know, like maybe 3 years after this.
Yeah. So I think you have that. I also think that one of the hallmarks of the films of this time also were the soundtracks, and I seem to remember thinking that the soundtrack was a little bit more memorable than I actually found it to be.
Right.
Listening to it.
Well, it's because the You Will Know was so huge.
Right.
And then I went back and I was like, this was the song of the soundtrack.
Right. That was it. It was really it.
Right. You Will Know is from this.
Black Men United.
Yeah. And even that doesn't play until the end of the movie.
Right. Freedom is from Panther. Mm-hmm. And that was the women.
Yeah. So
I forgot You Will Know Us From. And they don't play it right. They play that, yeah.
And I think that
And even that song is like tearjerker. Like, cause I listened to it after watching the movie, and I was like, "Oh my God, the black man! I love y'all so much. Y'all go through so much."
I also think there may be, and this might be a stretch. So tell me if it is.
Okay.
But there may be a vein of fandom that doesn't return to this film because, like you said, it's in the heyday of like the quasi hip hop kind of movies, right? That got definitely a hip hop bent to them. But this one, while it's got the guns, a little bit of the guns, and it's got Bokeem Woodbine, it also does have it central to it, probably more so than a lot of the other films, a love story. A decidedly sweet love story, and a decidedly sweet love story that the nudity for Prying Eyes is for the female gaze, more so than the male gaze.
That's a good point.
And I think that may be another reason why it kind of like gets lost because, you know, let's face it, in a patriarchy world, you know, they're going to big up, you know, a movie that's got like the woman blasting on it as opposed to Alan Payne's Behind.
Right. With the flowers blooming and all of that.
Yeah. Oh, you remember the whole scene?
I told you that really shifted things for me.
It's a very sweet, feminized scene. I think you're onto something there. I also think it being set in a southern place, it was a few years ahead of its time.
To a good degree, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like that's another thing. Like, you know, whether we're talking about ATL or Roll Bounce or like all these that were set in the South after this.
Yeah, because it was like, at that time, black life seemed to only exist in New York and LA.
There you go. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so to be in the South, I think it was just a little too early.
Right. It's either 3 years early or it's 10 years early.
Yeah.
For sure. And the one other thing about location that I did not notice until my most recent watch is when they're at the fair and the banner said Juneteenth.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
I know, right?
Because in '94, I didn't know what Juneteenth was.
Look, it was a Texas. It was a Texas holiday.
Yeah, it must be a thing down there. I don't know. Why don't we do Juneteenth? Like, no, we should do Juneteenth.
Yeah, so I love that detail, and it made me think about the film Miss Juneteenth, which I love so much. And I was like, and then in my mind, I was like, oh man, this is like in an alternate universe, there is some connection between Miss Juneteenth and Jason's Lyric.
Yeah.
I just haven't found the connect the dots yet, but I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do 6 degrees of connecting those films.
Oh my God.
And get back to y'all. Because in my brain, there is a connection somewhere.
I guess old boy who was on Insecure that played her ex-husband is too old to be
one of the guys from
or to be Jason and Lyric's son.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I don't know, because it's 90. Yeah,
94. He'd be too old.
Yeah, he'd be too old.
But I could definitely see him.
You're right. He could be Jason's cousin.
There you go. Well, they made the connection.
Mad Dog's side son or something.
Maybe they should have nicknamed him Mad Dog.
Yeah, the writing was, they're kind of setting him up for. Shout out to, I don't know the actor's name. But, you know, and I can't remember the character's name. But when they come across the dancing dude in the beginning.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And that's a character that's a person you always see in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's such a small part, but that's an integral member of the community.
Right.
And it's also always a marker of the time.
Right.
The neighborhood was one way, and then the neighborhood was another way.
Right.
And it shows right on him. So, you've returned to Jason's Lyrics. You enjoyed it. Would you recommend Jason's Lyric to the missionaries?
I would definitely recommend it to the missionaries. And actually, if you are in Philadelphia, we'll be screening it at Philly Film Society September 14th.
Oh, very nice.
Wow. September 14th at Philly Film Society here in Philadelphia.
Very nice.
We'll be screening Jason's Lyric, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, with some extra stuff going on too. So it's going to be fun. And I definitely recommend it. I think, to your point, it is a film that has kind of gone under the radar in terms of like being passed down like to the younger generations. And it's a film I love. Strong themes, great cast. I want to say no notes, but them accents piss me off.
Yeah.
Alan Payne, baby.
Yeah, forgive the accents. Forgive the accents. Just, it never happened.
Yeah.
It never happened. What about you, Vincent?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Would recommend it. Again, regardless of any misgivings I have with Alan Payne, there's certainly way more positives than negatives with this film. And I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised by how much I ended up enjoying it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I did not expect for it necessarily to hold up as much, but I enjoyed it. I liked it. I am a Bokeem Woodbine and a Jada Pinkett fan, with or without the Smith. And Suzanne Douglas,
Icon.
always.
I did say, because like Suzanne Douglas, and she had on like her little short 70s dress. And I said, yeah, I see why Mad Dog is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, when she had the Afro puffs, I was like, ooh.
We are Suzanne Douglas fans.
Yes.
Fine. If you're young and you're watching this, you'll know who that is. She was a mom on Parenthood. She's also the mom in Black Inkwell.
Yeah, the Inkwell.
But that also might be too old for a young person. So Gen Z, figure it out.
I mean, well, the Parenthood is probably too.
Yeah, that's definitely too old for them.
Age, but yo, Susan Douglas.
She was in Tap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
she wasn't.
Shout out to Gregory Hines.
See, if you'd asked me to connect to Suzanne Douglas, I know her filmography.
Yeah, I know. Yes. So that's 3 for 3, ladies and gentlemen, recommending that you see Jason's Lyric. And if you haven't watched it recently, September 14th, here in Philadelphia Film Society, brought to you by the Be Real Black Cinema Club. Jason's Lyric is screening right there.
Right, and you get to see it on the big screen, which you don't have a lot of opportunities to do.
I love you said that, because the
that's-
whole series that I'm doing in partnership with them is about classic films that we all watched. But, if you're a younger person, you probably only seen it on VHS.
Never seen it in movies.
You never seen it in a theater because your mama wasn't finna take you to see Players Club or whatever, at that age in the theater. So, just bringing back these kind of classic films that most of us didn't get a chance to see in theaters. So,
Okay.
super excited.
So now you'll get to see Alan Payne's behind in CinemaScope, ladies and gentlemen. That's the whole reason why she's screening it.
Whole reason.
Jason's Lyric, aka Alan's ass.
Yes. I need to get some merch for this screening. It's like his butt and the flowers in front.
I mean, he was touring in the New Jack City stage play.
Yeah.
You might get him to come and
You know what? Let me slide to Alan DM.
Don't talk to his agent. Don't be that guy.
You know, when you talk to the agent, they start talking about, it's $10,000 to book them, and you text the person on the side, they're like, y'all come, just give me a plate after.
Yeah, exactly.
What
y'all serving?
Right.
Right.
We got some ribs from This Is It to come cater it. You good.
Right.
There you go. If people want to get down with the Be Real Black Cinema Club, how can they?
So you follow us on Instagram. We post a lot, and I know that I said our meetups are in Brooklyn and Philly, but we do post about screenings all over the U.S., all over the world, honestly, because we just come in contact with so many different filmmakers, and so don't be discouraged if you're not in one of these cities, even though you may not be able to come to us with the meetup. Start your own meetup group in whatever city you're in, because we definitely post on Instagram. Also, if you're a filmmaker, we also post about different opportunities for grants or different programs. So yeah, be our friend on Instagram. Don't be shy. Like, I'm not the person to be shy with. So
There you go.
Come out, make a friend, see some films.
And that's Be Real, REEL, Black Cinema Club. All right. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, y'all.
you.
This was fun.
Oh, good. We're
This
glad.
is so fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And y'all can't see, ladies and gentlemen, she's got some fly shoes. Look at her. She was ready for her premiere.
Sorry if I stabbed you. I know these are like pointy and long.
No.
Nah, you just showing your skills.
That's right,
She was like,
right.
that's right, Dad.
Doing the shoe cam like on Wendy Williams.
That's right. Dylan, we need a shoe cam. All right.
Write that down.
All right, before we tell you what we're going to be watching next week, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Micheaux Mission, I invite you to follow the Micheaux Mission on the social media of your choice at Micheaux Mission. That means Instagram, Twitter, or the Facebook group where we get down and have a lot of fun talking with all of our fans. You can also find us on YouTube where you're watching a stream right now, YouTube at Micheaux Mission, where all of our live streams go up and then they'll later get edited into the top 5 and Derville Martins and the reviews and all of that good stuff will go up there, or maybe even doing some shorter videos as well. You can also email the Micheaux Mission if you want to share a chat with us or share your thoughts. Email us at micheauxmission@gmail.com. That's MICHEAUX MISSION. Or if you want to be real cool, leave us a voicemail.
Ooh.
215-867-9666. Leave us a voicemail and
Don't
Vincent
encourage them.
I'm gonna call and I'm gonna sing "You Will Know" because I know everybody parts. I'm gonna leave it on y'all voicemail. You will know. Aaron Hall had the best runs in that joint, so I'm about to kill it.
He did indeed. The Micheaux Mission is streamed live from Yunk Junk here in Manayunk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace. Go to videocontentfactory.com to check out all of the things that you can do right here. And the Micheaux Mission is also a proud member of The Podglomerate, thepodglomerate.com. They make podcasts work. I do want to let you know that the Micheaux Mission is coming your way. We've got a couple of live events coming your way, ladies and gentlemen. In August, on August 5th at 6 p.m., the Micheaux Mission will be at the Black Star Film Festival on the Daily John stage at the Kimmel Cultural Campus.
Y'all so upper crust. Gonna be on the big stage.
Ooh. I have to wear my patent leather sneakers.
Yeah.
We'll be doing a live Micheaux Mission as part of the Black Star Film Festival. You can go to blackstarfest.org for all of the information about the festival. Come out and see us. We're going to have fun, play Derville Martin, top 5, talk to a filmmaker. We're going to have a good time.
It'll be a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. And tomorrow night,
Oh
boy, Barry in the lead. Tomorrow night, it is the summer of Derville Martin as the Micheaux Mission returns to the Bryn Mawr Film Institute to screen 5 on the Black Hand Side, starring Derville Martin, Leonard Jackson, as well as Dick Anthony Williams.
Dick Anthony Williams,
Glenn Turman.
Turman,
So many people in the
Janet Dubois is in it.
Legend.
Right, I forgot.
Godfrey Cambridge.
Look, that's more than 5 on the Black Hand Side. It's like 12 on the Black Hand Side of the movie, ladies and gentlemen. That we are going to be screening tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at the Bryn Mawr
Sonny Jim is in it.
The Bryn Mawr Film Institute, and we will have free pretzels for you as well.
And spicy mustard.
With spicy and yellow mustard. You know? Look. Now Stephanie and Cam are going to want their own. Like, isn't it just one for us? Like, I thought, where's the Stephanie?
Oh, boy.
But yes, that'll be, you can go to actually our website, micheauxmission.com, and look for events, and you can find a link where you can get the tickets to come out and check us out. Next week on the Micheaux Mission, I know y'all got spoiled with all these guests, but it's just gonna be me and Vince next week. I'm sorry.
Just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
We can make it if we try.
Well, fortunately, I have to be here. But fortunately, Vincent will be here because Vincent, you know what about him? He got game. Next week, here on the Micheaux Mission.
I need Gucci for my baby. I need a Chanel bag for me. That is my movie.
Yeah.
He Got Game, starring Denzel Washington, next week here on the Micheaux Mission. Until then, he's Vincent. I'm Len. That's Stephanie. And in parting, we say,
We'll see you when it's time to meet again.